Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To all my brothers and sisters all around the Muslim world, I love all of you for the sake of Allah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. Beginning in the name of Allah, and praising Allah and thanking Allah and asking Allah to send peace and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is another reminder that is first to myself. Always, I ask Allah to help me to follow my own advice and to keep me away from hypocrisy. We ask Allah to always help us to stay on the straight path and to follow our own advice, because we have more than enough people who are giving advice without following it themselves. So this reminder is going to be basically about being a know-it-all, you know? And the reason I'm making this video is actually because of something that my wife said, which was very funny. And her saying that makes me, inshallah, want to make this video. You know how when you're talking to someone, you're trying to give them some advice, you're trying to help them or whatever they're going through, whatever. You're trying to give some advice, some guidance to a person. And what is the one thing people always say when you're trying to help them out? Their situation isn't even straight, and you're trying to help them out. But when you're trying to help people out, when you're trying to tell people things, what is the one thing they always say? They always say, I already know that. If you notice that. You tell them, brother, Aki, you're not supposed to do that. It's not Islam really for you to do that. I already know that. Or vice versa with the sisters. You're telling the sister, sister, you should cover. You're not supposed to not cover. Your prayer isn't accepted if you're not covered praying it. Or, you get a sin for every man that looks at you when you're outside without a cover. Sister, I already know that. And, this is a funny statement, because it's funny how everyone knows everything, but you say you know, but why is your life such a mess? You say you know, why are you in debt? Why are you broke? Why are you, why are all these bad things happening to you that you are the reason for it happening because of your bad choice making and because of your bad decisions? People constantly say, I know, I already know that, but the results and what we're looking at is like, if you know, then why isn't there a change? And it's very funny, and you can ask my wife, I was laughing, when I was talking to her about that, but it's funny, and people really do that. They say, I already know. And this is not something that a Muslim says. This is not something that a Muslim says, I already know. First of all, this can be a sign of arrogance. Okay, this can be a sign of hypocrisy, because a mu'min never says something like that. If we look at the lives of the companions, there was one companion, one of the famous companions. His name was Ka'b. I don't know his full name, but I remember that. His name was Ka'b, and he was one of the most knowledgeable of the Quran. He knew the Quran like top notch. The Prophet recommended him as one of the best people to learn the book of Allah from. So the Prophet asked him a question one day, a question Ka'b knew the answer to. So what did Ka'b say? When the Prophet asked him a question, did Ka'b just give the answer? No, he didn't. When the Prophet asked him the question, Ka'b said, Allah and his messenger know best. And then the Prophet insisted, and then Ka'b answered it. Because a Muslim is humble. A true believer in Allah is humble. They don't say, I already know. We accept the advice. This is what Islam teaches us to do. And this is how a Muslim is supposed to be. And there was once a Muslim, I don't know if he was a companion or if he was a tabi, one of the three generations, or if he was a scholar or something, but he's one of these things. And basically, when you would talk to him, even if it was something he already knew about, he would act as if it is his first time hearing it. Meaning, if you were to tell him something like, about Islam, and let's say he already knows about what you're talking about, he ain't going to say, I already know. He would listen as if he didn't know it. Like you're telling him about Salat, he's listening as if he doesn't even know anything about Salat. Because this is how a Muslim is supposed to be. We are supposed to be humble, taking advice, trying to better ourselves. Not saying I already know that. This isn't something a Muslim says. This is foolish and this is ridiculous. And a person who says this is obviously someone who is on the wrong path. Okay? Wallahi, no true Muslim will ever say this out of their mouths. Okay? That's like a politician telling the truth. It doesn't happen. A Muslim, a true believer in Allah, will never say, I already know that. Never. Never will a true believer in Allah say that. Rather, we take advice and we listen and we try to improve ourselves and our connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah to give us guidance, because people are always so quarrelsome, and Allah speaks about this in the Quran. People are quarrelsome, and we always want to say we know, but you don't know anything. Look at your life. Look at your life. You talking about you know. Look at your life. Okay? Look at your life. If you know something, your life should reflect it. Okay? How am I going to say I know, I have knowledge, I have, a bunch of 30 baby mothers in debt, gambling here, using drugs here, coming out this club, all tricking and all kinds of committing major sins, but I'm going to say I know something? I don't know a damn thing if I'm doing stuff like that. If you have knowledge on something, then your actions will reflect it. Don't tell me what you know. Show me what you do. Don't sit there and tell me you know something and I'm looking at you and I'm looking at your actions. You don't know a damn thing. You don't even know left from right. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Your actions need to show if you have knowledge of something. Because study Islam, study the Quran, and study the Hadith. Do you know what the people of hellfire are going to say? The people who are so-called smart in this world, who had knowledge, do you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, if we really had knowledge, we wouldn't be in hellfire. That's what they're going to say. These professors and these smart Aristotles and these geniuses or whatever, they're going to say when they're in the hellfire, if we really had knowledge, we wouldn't be in Jahannam. We wouldn't be in hellfire. So if you really know something, then save yourself from hellfire if you have knowledge and you want to say, I already know. Because everybody says that. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us and give us knowledge and understanding. Assalamu alaikum.